Alright. So, how do you recognize a real militia versus a fake militia? Here's a real militia. Right there. You see those cunning ears and them claws? And how he likes his freedom and he wants to escape? Yeah, I know. If I walk around with him, he likes being held. But if I stay still, he doesn't like to be held. That's a real militia. Actually, seriously, if you want to know what the militia is, if you're 3 months old and you're a baby, you're a militia. If you're 115 years old and you're a great-great-great-great-granny, you're a militia. That's everybody. You don't have to walk around in a green tree suit. You can have a polyester freaking Wally World suit or something for $79. You could be the militia. It doesn't matter. I think people take that stuff too serious. Actually, if you really had to go against like a totalitarian government, you would never go head to head. You definitely would never do that. I kind of mentioned this in another video, and I'm putting this video out because I saw Mr. AJ out there put out a video about how to recognize a militia versus a real militia. And I saw COINTELPRO guy on there. He mentioned something. I commented on it. I says, I know how to deal with this crap. It's like it's all for giddy minds, part of it. But yeah, I do know there's stuff coming down. There's actually like a lot of the communist elements in our government, whatever you want to call it, they were really educated in think tanks that were, the ideas were put forth in the colleges and universities. If you really look down deep and you go all the way back, the KGB has actually been influential in, pushing a lot of this ideology in the universities. But then again, Russia, where communism came from in Russia, was actually born in the West. It's the monopoly type capitalists are really behind a lot of that type of, the communism. It's total control. But, I actually want to say something here, too, because, I know, like, if you're, like, in law enforcement, or say you're FBI or CIA or NSA or whatever, I basically, I realize there's a mixed bag there, but generally speaking, most people that are in those organizations are, generally speaking, not everybody, but, that's just how it is with everything, right? Generally speaking, they're on the side of, patriotism in the United States and, the American people and doing what's right for the country or the survival of the country. But I want to actually say is this, though. When it comes right down to it, you got to obey your superiors. You're just kind of screwed if you don't want to, do something. You got to do it. But I want to say this. This is really what I get at is, say you're CIA or FBI or NSA. You're like I wouldn't really call you like, you wouldn't think of yourself as like a family or a team unit. You're like a tribe. I think that's really the actual correct word. It's like a cult tribe. And you stick together for your own people first. But the people that are over you, they're actually setting you up. Because everybody that's in the government, long term, they get paid direct deposit, they get benefits, and they want to do their job and they want to do it right. But long term, they're also thinking about a pension and retirement. Well, if things keep going the way they are with the communist Hillary Clinton and all that kind of garbage like that, betraying our state secrets, just put it to you bluntly, you're not going to have a pension. You're not going to have a long-term retirement or anything like that. So, just for survival of yourself and the tribe being the tribe of the CIA, the tribe of the FBI, the tribe of the NSA, really got to fight those bastards on the top that are communist asswipes, like selling out state secrets for their own personal gain, like the Clintons, for instance. I just got to put it that way. I'm getting sick of this bullshit. Everybody knows it. The NSA knows it. They intercepted every freaking email that she ever made. And, the American people would be on your side all the way anyway, because if you're fighting against that kind of garbage, even it's for, personal things like the survival of the CIA, your team members, the tribe itself. The American people are still going to be on your side. I kind of laugh when I saw that thing on YouTube with because the guys there's sensationalists out there. Now I noticed, like, if you haven't noticed, like on my I got I know what some people are thinking. They got these big Jewish conspiracy things out there all the time. And I'm not in that camp. But I'll have to explain it like this, because I got to address this, because sometimes people think, like, I know Brother Nathaniel I can't stand that jerk with his, everything's a Jewish conspiracy theory and all this kind of garbage. I'm not in that camp. But I could say this, the higher up anybody goes, the worse they are. You got... Boy, I'm going to say something unpopular here. I'm not really trusting Donald Trump, because I think he flip-flopped a lot, right? But, he's not Jewish. I don't trust the guy, But, Bloomberg, yeah, he would be Jewish. But, my point is, the higher up they go, no matter what it is, evangelistic type Christian, the Pope, he's pretty high up. He's got a lot of money. You trust these guys? You trust the Communist Party in China? You trust Putin and all the oligarchs that he allowed that are around him that are still surviving? Do you trust these guys? No, you don't trust them. It's, do you trust the leadership in Iran? Do you trust the leadership in North Korea? No, I don't. And everybody's, well, not everybody, but there seems to be this freaking thing on YouTube where they seem to blame everything on the Zionists or something. And if you're Jewish, you got to be a Zionist somehow. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying this right now because this can be unpopular. What I'm saying is, part of your religion is to well, not maybe part. Maybe that's not the it depends, because there's a lot of variation. But part of it is really to support Israel and your other Jews in Israel. So I don't go down that route. You know what I mean? Now, I have to say this, though, like, everybody, like I said right from the beginning, if you want to identify the militia, everybody is the freaking militia. Just, you don't have to walk around with a green tree suit and play like I'm snooping and pooping in the woods and stuff like that and doing all this stuff. You don't have to be playing those kind of games. And some of these people got these notions in their head about 1776 and all this garbage that they don't realize, what 1776 would be today. It would be something totally different in strategy. It wouldn't be what, like you're thinking it is in history. And I don't want to say what that strategy would be. Now, if you're thinking I'm a sellout or some shit for saying some stuff a certain way right now, I could tell you one thing. I probably could very easily be chosen as an appointed freaking thing, because I used to know that my ancestry went back to the Confederacy, but I didn't know what it was exactly. I didn't know the exact names, but now I know who they are, and it goes all the way back to the Revolutionary War. I had 3 direct descendants in the Confederacy, and which they fought for the same damn thing that the Revolutionary War fought for. Like, the one was over the Revolutionary War was over the tea tax a lot, the taxation from King George, and the Confederacy fought over, taxation of cotton and other agricultural staples, which were even more severe than the tea tax by the British. Now, you also have 3 direct. Not like, going through different last names or nothing even. Direct, going all the way back to the American Revolution. And it's just some pretty heavy-duty stuff there. I never knew that till very recently. I also have on my mother's side, I knew that my great-grandfather was the illegitimate son of King Edward. Actually, Duke Albert Edward at the time. He wasn't king then. But I got a lot of shit that I could pull out that, but you know what? I ain't working for nobody. Nope. No way in hell. Really come right down to it. I'll go out and freaking take a buffer and polish cars or some shit like that, man. If they, even if they ostracize me from the accounting field or some bullshit, I don't fucking do. I don't give a rat's ass. I don't give a shit. Ain't nothing they could do to me, really. I'll be a fucking bum. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I don't care. So I ain't working for nobody. That's all there is to it. I really can't be bought. And then there's a lot of people say there's always a fucking way to. But yeah, they could pay me. I might tell you the truth. You already got your warning right here. If you paid me a load of money, I'll fucking turn on you right there. That's all there is to it. But because I'm not doing it I'm doing it because it's for the right reasons. But I laughed at that shit when they said, "How do you recognize the militia?" I was like, "Oh man, come on, you gotta be kidding me, man." And anyway, I don't want to get too long on this thing right now. I mean, I'm not always right on everything I put out. Obviously, I thought silver could have possibly went up a lot in 2013. Here it's 2016. It's still depressed. It depends on if they blow up the freaking Middle East. But I'm not. I ain't working for nobody. I'm not trying to push my own investment or nothing like that. And I'm really here to really kind of help people. That's really what the hell it is. And the biggest problem we really got, though, is, I said this before, too, is the money bastards in Wall Street. They're looking for complete and total control. You got egomaniacs like Soros and shit like that, They're garbage. Actually, well, I know, like when you're in a government, which kind of was in a government with the green tree suit, I guess you want to call it that way. You really can only say so much and do so much. But then again, well, that's probably why Obama's not too popular with the military, and I'm sure Hillary wouldn't be. But it's like you still try, because all the little actions add up. They always do. Don't think the situation's helpless. When you think things are hopeless, you lose. So, back to the initial premise of how do you recognize a militia or not? Well, it's everybody. And say, for instance, you were one of the ones that, is out there going to be snooping and pooping in the woods. The real militia would never freaking show their face in a million years. They'd blend into it. Because, actually, you'd have to be total stealth. Just like the communists are freaking playing the games against America. You have to be playing the same game right back. I could probably drop some dimes and some shit that'd probably make your head spin, but I'm not going to. Internet is all about sensationalism and stuff like that, but there's people out there that, they're true blue Americans all the way, and they will fight for the cause, But you got to be smart about everything. And one thing I remarked on the AJ show is, how do you know it's his real militia? I said this. It says the real militia know what this AJ guy's about, and they know he's freaking profit for disinformation or some shit. That's what I said. But, the one thing I think is when people get into this stuff, they tend to blame one group too much. It's like they're off base. They're way off base. I don't want to go down that trail too much, but I already put some unpopular video out about telling, Brother Nathaniel, the one that's always criticizing the Zionists and all this garbage, he's a load of it. I can't, people don't want to hear that, but, really the general rule is, the more money they got, the more power they got, the more screwed up you are. Don't matter what your background is. You could be, you could be Jewish, you could be, I think Bloomberg's a jackass, banning big gulp sodas and everything like that in New York. What an asshole. And, but I think all the Iranian hierarchy is a pile of bullshit. You hear about that grandson of one of the clerics. He had a Porsche and he was driving with his girlfriend. They smashed into a wall because she was driving and they both died. And I was like, good. You know, I mean, how the hell does this guy get money when everybody else doesn't have any money, right? Because he's a cleric, he's a holy man, he's the grandson of a holy man. Yeah, right. You got the Chinese Communist Party that doesn't let the Chinese practice that Fajong, whatever the hell that is, bullshit, freaking meditation stuff. You know, I mean, you know, Putin always wins elections with 90-something% of the vote. I'm like, yeah, right. You know, and of course you got North Korea. You know, they're really wonderful. Oh God, holy shit. And you know, but the internet is rife with all these other things. But thing is, you got to be chill. And you know, if you're working against the bullshit, actually, you're probably your number one enemies in America are the think tanks. It's not even the ones like in politics so much as the ones that are pushing the ideas into, you know, Nancy Pelosi with her Agenda 21 and all that bullshit, you know? Who the hell thought up these things? Who thought up these things, right? Who's pushing this stuff? It's really some of the biggest intellectual eggheads that are pushing this bullshit. It's not even the ones that are even in government. The problem with government is that the government now is less controlled by the people than it is by the big money who's looking for more power. Right? That's the problem in a nutshell right there. I sure as shit hope the FBI does nail this freaking Hillary bitch, because not only did she, like, you know, strip security from the emails on State Department servers, which means you had to print them, you know, scan them, OCR them, then upload them, copy and upload them to a private email server. I think she sold state secrets for a freaking profit, for money, like Bill Clinton did back in '96 in the '96 election. He sold missile technology to China. But, you know, I sure as shit hope the FBI gets after this crap, because I'm thinking you ought to be getting after them, not just because, you know, we the people want you to do it. You ought to be doing it because you're not going to retire. I'm going to say this. You know, I'm actually diverging on a different subject here, but the United States will collapse because of all the bullshit that's going on with these corrupt politicians. And you're not going to have a retirement. Now, that's not me freaking wishing it on you. It's me telling you that these jerks are doing it. I'm not doing it. They're doing it. And you got them by the balls right now, and you can actually slam them. Why don't you? I don't know. I mean, I think hopefully the director of the FBI is going to do that, but maybe he won't. I don't know. I hope he does. But if that doesn't happen, not only is the United States going to be weakened militarily and economically long run due to this type of stuff, if the USA actually comes under a global power, and the global power is more influenced by, say, China or something like that, anybody that worked for the U.S. government is going to be suspect, or more or less automatically deemed, against the new ruling authority. You really want to think this through. You see, I got a lot of way of thinking on a lot of shit, and a lot of people don't do that. I'm not waving the Constitution in nobody's face here right now. I'm just saying common sense. You think this through. We're at $19 trillion debt right now. We get up to about $24 trillion, say, in 4 years. That's the point of no return. How's retirement going to work out? What's going to happen is the United States going to be melded into a world governing body, or world, I don't know what. I mean, not the IMF, but maybe the Bank of International Settlements or something. I don't know what. You know, what would be the entity that would control the United States economy? But once that happens, and finances, and once that happens, then you're under control of foreign powers. And if it's something like, which you can already figure, who's the number one foreign power coming on strongest? China. if that same group of oligarchy, the Communist Party, Chinese are cool, but I'm talking about the Communist Party. If they're running the world, and they're running the United States too, what's left of it, after we freaking go down economically, you already know what they're going to declare as enemies against them. Anybody that used to be in the FBI, anybody that used to be in the CIA, anybody that used to be in the NSA. So I'm putting it down to you long term. And that is not necessarily like something I'm wishing on you, because I realize you guys, the only main defense I got against these corrupt damn politicians, because I can write to my congressman all I want and complain about this shit, but it's you guys that got the evidence on Hillary full of beans and bullshit Clinton and all the crap she did, and Bill Clinton, and hopefully Nancy Pelosi and whatever else is out there. Probably the Bushes too, I'm sure. Even though Herbert Walker probably wasn't the best guy in the world, at least I respect him. I'm not keen on the Sons, not at all. So that's my update. Who's in the militia? Everybody, from 3 months old to 115 plus. That's what it is. That's the militia right there. And how do you recognize them? They live in the United States. They're part of our country, and that's it. That's the militia. That's how you recognize the militia. That's all it is. Be chill, be cool, be calm, and that's it. Peace.